Charlie Adams, Guerrilla Coffee TV, and today I have Dennis Ray G. Jr. with me.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
What is up, my man? How are you?
Oh, good.
One of the things I I wanted to have you on here and kind of talk to you about was just like you're a fucking kick-ass musician, dude. You know what I mean? And so I kind of wanted to get like a little bit of a backstory on it. What was it that really got you like into music in the first place? Were you just chasing pussy, or was it like about, did you just have a some people, you know what I mean?
Well, actually, my dad, when I was growing up, my dad played bass for a band called, a bunch of bands, but people around here would know like Dead Spunk is the name of the band. And I don't know, I went to watch him when I was little, and then I just he never really taught me, but he didn't. He's like, you're gonna work for it if you want it. So he never everyone thinks your dad teaches you, doesn't. But
right.
So basically, he was like, I'll give you little pointers, but it's up to you to figure it out. So then eventually, after struggling forever to figure it out, you started getting good at it. And then I started out with bass, and then I wanted to play guitar. But some kid I was in school was like, oh man, you suck at guitar, you shouldn't play guitar. Right. And I was like, didn't sit well. I was like, after that, I want to freaking be good at guitar. Right. So I started learning guitar, and then it's basically from there. I don't know how I got into screaming stuff. I have no idea, because I used to thought it was bogus, and then
talk to me about that. What do you mean? You're talking about like
hard vocals?
Okay,
like Mudvaynes. Actually, I think that's the band that kind of did it for me. I was in a band called Dawn Becoming around here for a long time. And
what was it?
A Dawn Becoming.
Oh, okay.
And we're pretty popular around here. And yeah, at that point, I would say it was for partying. Girls, because of course. But then I got older, and I was like, kind of wanted to make it. Well, I wanted to always make it my job, but now I'm really trying to make it my job. So I did this Embers fall. I moved to Arizona.
Yeah, so you have a couple things that you're into now, right? You have a metal band right now.
Yeah, Embers fall.
Embers fall, yeah. Right? And you got, I know one of the other guys, Kyle Linscott, that's in there with you, right? He plays bass, right?
Yeah, he plays bass. Yeah.
And you're lead guitar and vocals in that, or?
I write the stuff with everybody.
Okay.
And I basically started the band with a bunch of people, and they broke up. And it was just me, so I recorded our CD with our other guitar player, Heidel.
Okay.
And then I didn't know I was going to go back to being a band or not, just a studio thing, so I just was going to take it to Arizona, but somehow the band started forming after the CD was done. So I just been writing stuff the whole time, and then, I got members in and stuff, and we've gone on tour and all this thing, and crazy.
You did go on tour?
Yeah.
With Embers Fall?
Yeah. And
where all have you gone?
We went to California and back, actually.
No shit.
Yeah, San Diego, I think, is the farthest out we went. And then I got food poisoning in San Diego and drove all the way to Colorado. Oh my god. That was awful.
That's crazy.
It was awful. We played South by Southwest actually 2 times in the same tour, which is
do you make were you making decent money on it? I mean, what was because I know that I know everybody that I know knows who you are. You know what I mean? Knows about you, knows about your band. I don't really know the economics of being a professional musician. I know that it's super fucking hard to get paid, really get paid.
And a metal aspect, metal especially is definitely tough. I would say if there wasn't, we had a lot of complications, a very deep story that I won't go into, right. But if we would have not have had that, I'm sure we actually would have probably made a bunch.
Because I am not in any way a musician, you know what I mean? I played piano for 4 years, I played some guitar and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I've definitely tried, you know what I mean? But that to have there's something
passion.
There's something that's different between people like you and people like me. You know what I mean? There's that thing that you have that just you're I'm gonna learn how to play guitar because somebody said that I fucking sucked at it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you became
then you
awesome.
Wanted to.
Yeah. Then you became awesome at it, and not only did you become awesome at it, but you continued to pursue it to the point where you became a professional musician.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know where does that come from?
As my dad and other people call it, it's called the curse. You want to it interferes in every part of your life. It really does. If you want to be a touring musician, it's really impactful. But if you give it up, I know tons of people have given it up, and for good reasons. I'm not hating on
or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not hating on the reasons, but it's always there. Even if you're 99% happy with your whole life. As a musician, I feel if you're really a musician, there's 1% of you is never happy about it. That's a good toss. If you have kids and stuff again.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of relate to that in some aspect because I know that So like, like I've started several businesses. I'm not by any means wealthy. I probably could have been if I wasn't such an idiot. Like didn't screw stuff up. You know what I mean? But like I've started so many different businesses, and I know that people like that is a characteristic of me that people admire. You know what I mean? Because like I have that thing in me that like I'm gonna create this thing and I'm gonna push for it until it fucking happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna push for it till it happens.
I can tell. I mean, I was just saying that. Like you own like half the block now. That's awesome.
So I get that. You know what I mean? So like, tell me about. All right. So you got Embers Fall, and then there's like you have like another thing that you do, right? With Swipe Right deal.
Yeah. So I'm in an acoustic band with Ryan Hoke from wasn't Candlelight Red. And we just play around the bars, have fun, make some money, we get some good feedback, man. We keep getting shows constantly. So that's good.
You played some of that stuff over at Revolution Coffee Company.
Yeah, I played a couple times over you guys' place. I wish Ryan was so busy he could come do it. But, so we've tried to do this for like, I don't know, like a year or two now. And we're always just so busy, and I play in this band called Dumb, so we're toured with him all the time.
Oh, I never heard of that.
His name is Jason Dumb. He plays with Castle sometimes, but he's really good. That whole band's good, and I met some cool people in the way. But I toured with them for like a year, and like I couldn't do it with Ryan, so we just like whatever. And then Ryan's like, "Hey, why don't we just get this going?" I'm like, "I don't know, just book a show," because we both have things going on, so we don't do what we won't. So he did. He booked us a show. And it was like a 4-hour show for our first show, and I'm like, oh crap, because I've barely played acoustic guitar ever, and I really knew like, I don't know, like 3 songs.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, we got a 4-hour show in like a month and a half. He's like, how many songs? He's like, how many songs you know? I'm like, 3. He's like, great. Because we need like 50. You know what I mean? He's like 3. He's like, oh my god. Yeah. So I just pounded out all these acoustic songs, and just nonstop. I'm good at that. Like, as long as it's not the same repetitive thing that's like kind of just like monotonous. Right. Like if it's like something to the song that just links, I'm like, oh, I can remember that because that cool little part. And that's just how I am. And I don't know. I've just always been like a crazy fast learner with like almost everything. How do you
I know that, like even in my own life, I've been presented, through, different things that I was doing. I've been presented with, plenty of opportunities to do some really awful things, you know what I mean? Just because of either the financial position that I was in or whatever. And so like, I don't know, I've never been on tour as a professional musician, but like I'm pretty certain that there is a fair amount of like debauchery that how do you I'm not, like you don't have to like expose yourself. So like how do you know what I mean, like first of all how do you avoid all the evil shit and for the times that you didn't, like what's the craziest shit that's ever happened to you?
Holy shit.
Because to go all the way to California, I guarantee that you.
Well, okay, so now I definitely don't. I don't even drink on tour, like at all, because like. Really? Well, because it messes your voice up terribly. Yeah, I guess you're stuck in a van with like 7 people probably, and you gotta like sleep in it somehow, and no one can probably masturbate, so everyone's all like aggroed out, So like you're always like everyone's like trying to be cool and live together, but you're all like at the same time you're like hate each other by the end of it. So you're trying to like you're like overly non-eat dick, fucking like cloud your judgment. But like it's weird. Like I always think like when guys have girls and you're in a touring band, guys think or girls think like every night, or guys, whatever, vice versa, that like there's just people throwing themselves at you. It's like, nah, dude. Like maybe in other styles, but like cover bands especially, that actually happens all the time, which I found out, I was like, whoa. Really? Yeah. They're just swimming in it. Dude, just all the time. I don't know why, but it's just cover bands. But like they do. Because they imagine that person is like. It's because you're the hottest thing in the room. That's it. That's all it is. Like you're the hottest thing in the room. So like they're like, oh, I want to be a part of that. And I get it. Like it's human instinct to do that. But as for metal and my style, like it's just dudes. It's just all dudes. Is and I'm really? Like, if you're into dudes, cool, get laid. But like, if you're not into dudes and you're just into chicks, like, there's no girls coming up. There's no girl like, oh, you guys are sick. Can I just like suck you off? Like it doesn't happen. Like, like it might once in a great while, but like even then you're like, dude, I gotta drive like 8 hours and I'm tired from like the 8 hours we drove here. Yeah. And we just played and we're all sweaty and gross and like, like I definitely. smoked weed out of a light bulb from Peasants to Kings for the first time, which is great. I remember we went on the tour with these guys, and they're outside this place, and they're like, that was a light bulb. I'm like, what are you guys doing? We smoke weed. We're vaping. I'm like, vaping?
Like dabs out of a light bulb?
Yeah, out of a light bulb. I was like, that's pretty intricate to like take it out.
Yeah, right.
I was like, oh, whatever, I'll do it. Like, but the craziest thing we had is like we went on this EF tour, and we had a hired drummer, and we were trying to split off from this. Either way, to make a long story short, but someone tried to like stab one of us.
For like, what?
For waking him up.
What?
Yeah, dude, yeah.
So now that you've experienced like a good piece of that life, and like now I know that you got like full-time job. You're basically normal dude. Do you still aspire to kind of get to that level?
Dude,
like are you still chasing that dream where like you want to be like a big star?
I feel like I'm like my life is like the best like I guess analogy I can give you is you ever watch South Park?
Yeah.
You ever seen that episode of Randy Marsh is playing the heroin dragon thing where he's like, oh, those guys, he's trying to get him.
No,
a little video game.
So, he's chasing the dragon.
Yeah. That's exactly how I feel my life is all the time. I'm like, oh, I'm almost getting it. Like, no, I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I try constantly. I'm like always doing something, even if it's not like music. Like, even if I'm not in a band, which I hope never happens, but like, even if somehow that like just fizzles out and I never become like a touring musician, I always want to do something musically, which is, I don't want to be like, wearing like a freaking scarf and like some crazy custom-made jacket's like missing a sleeve for no reason. Like, I don't want that. Like, it'd be cool to like be self-sustainable. Like, we're just like, I just make music, I tour the world making music, and I just inspire other people to make music. And like I don't have to worry about like working a job.
Well, you should just be like, I mean, like like some of these people that like, because I've met people who have bands and then like all of a sudden they're fucking rock stars in Japan. You know what I mean? Like they go to Japan and like tour and stuff like that, and they're killing it. You know what I mean? Like they don't have a fucking clue what they're singing about, but they love them. You know what I mean? They love them.
I actually know. That's crazy. Actually, I just know a band right now is this guy named Colton. He plays with a band called Sink the Shit. They're huge in Japan. Like he's over there right now with sold out shows the whole time. It's crazy.
I don't understand how do you do that.
You just, basically, I feel like I'm not hating on promoters in America.
Right.
I feel like the scene is crazy huge over in Europe. Like watch like whack-in videos and stuff. It's not just see people everywhere, which happens here too. But like I just feel like that whole they like over there are just like hell yeah, give us everything. Because especially like the countries who like.
They're super like fans of American music.
It's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I would love to do that. And like he is a prime example of that. Like, I mean, I kind of know of his band. I've heard him before, and then like I just watch all these videos of them on like Japan. They're just like, I'm like, holy shit! It's like they're like freaking A Day to Remember or something over there. It's nuts. Like. Jesus, maybe I should start like promoting Embers over there. But the only problem is then you gotta like pay all the money to fly over there all the time. Yeah. But I mean, there's a huge market in Europe for freaking in Japan or wherever, like just for freaking music of all, and it's like crazy. And I'm like, man, I kind of wish like I just moved over there and try it out over there. I mean, God, who knows what would happen then? But like I mean, like I think it's cool, and like this is mind blowing to think about it. Like I mean, we have like. On Spotify and stuff like it shows how many countries we have there. And like there are so many other countries in the US that like follow us, and it's like we have a lot in like certain parts where it's even more than the US, and I'm like, holy crap, I should start targeting over there.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Because like that's nuts. Like it'd just be crazy to like do a huge headlining tour and not in your own country. I'm still thinking about that.
Awesome.
Like, it's so nuts to be like, yeah, we're famous like on the other side of the world. Okay, like whatever.
Well, listen, man. I hope that I would love to see that happen for you. You know, I think it could.
I mean,
you guys are definitely talented. Like
just gotta have the drive. Man.
Right.
That's the only problem with like being in a band too. Is like you gotta rely on other people too. I mean, there's always a guy who's the chief, and it makes sense because you can't have so many chiefs in the band.
Yeah.
Like you gotta have a chief, one guy who makes like the decisions and does the stuff, but like he also like everyone votes, and it's like like I guess like it's a democracy. It's right. You're talking about democracy, and everyone votes, and then we all do that. But like there's always gonna be some people who like are just soldiers, and that's fine. Like you need those because like too many hands in the pot makes it tough.
Sure. Yeah.
So like if everyone's like, oh, this is a good idea, everyone's like, yeah, cool, do it. So people are like, yeah, whatever, I'll just give you money, do whatever, and then like poof, there you go. That's totally fine. But It's definitely hard being in a band because like you do rely on at least, even if you're a 3-piece, you at least rely on 2 other people to be in a band with you.
Yeah.
So actually, it's not true. You could be a 2-piece. Our buddies in American Arson are a 2-piece, and those guys kill it.
Really?
You would never know they're 2-piece. They were sound checking, and
they just have like a bunch of plugins. And
well, he runs everything through this big pedal thing, and it runs like 2 cabs and a bass cab. And we're outside, and you just hear this sound check. I'm like, holy crap, man, this is awesome. They go inside, just one dude and a drummer. I'm like, what the hell? But no, he makes it work. So he could be 2-piece. I guess I should rephrase that.
So like you have this like big event coming up here in Island Park in Blossburg. Tell me about it. Like what's the where did it come from, and tell me about it. Like
so Cannon Music Fest is what it's called.
Cannon Music
Fest LLC now. I guess I have to like say that, but so I've always wanted to own a music festival. I've always wanted to, and I just figured I didn't know enough people could do enough, and I haven't put enough into the community. I'd say I should still put more in the community because that helps. But I don't know. Last year, there's this like national band that lives around here called Backstreet Law. They had a comeback, and they were huge back in the day. Like they're all over huge. So they came back and they played a couple of shows, and like they just had like crazy amount of people. Like people driving from Florida all the way to like State College, which is nuts. Like what I mean? Holy Christ! But so I was like, man, I remember they used to do Summerfest because when I grew up watching my dad and everybody, there's this thing at the Stony Fork campgrounds called Summerfest, and they had it every year. And it was awesome. There was bands from all over, and you could camp and drink.
Local bands.
Even like bands from out of the area would come. Yeah, it was crazy. There were so many people there. It's insane. Well, then it ended up stopping for, I think they got new owners or something, and then they were like, oh, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So Backstreet Law was back. I'm like, dude, what a great way to like kick off a festival. Yeah. Like they're back. So I messaged Jeremy, and I was like, hey, what do you guys think about doing like something like Summerfest? He's like, I'd like to do a festival. And he's like, yeah, I thought about it. He's like, and they're like, they're all older now, so they have lives and responsibilities and stuff. And he's like, it's a ton of work. So he's like, yeah, if you guys could do something like that, I'm sure we could play it. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, he's like, oh, Brad, he's like, your friend Brad, or our friend Brad Buffington, also wants to do a music festival. And I was like, well, crap, and I'll just call him up. Yeah. So I called Brad, and I'm like, hey, man, so I have this idea to do a music festival around the area, like Summerfest, And he's like, I was thinking about doing like cover bands. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, why don't we just mix it? Why don't we just do that? So then it was just an idea. Like, I don't know how it actually even came about, but we're just talking about it, and then we got our buddy Wade Spencer involved in it. And the next thing I know, we're like planning it. It's happening. The golf course the Wellsboro Country Club was like, yeah, let's do it here. And I'm like, what? And then I'll do it like within like 2 months. It was like the most hectic 2 months of my life. I don't think I ever slept the whole time.
Just like rapid fire.
Just going, just us three just pounding crap out. And then like we made a whole festival happen with a big stage and all that. Well, I would say pretty decent stage. Like, has like lights and all this crap. And like, it was just nuts. Like we got it done and it happened. We brought like almost 500 people, which is crazy. Because like, I know people that own festivals and this is like their year 5 or whatever.
Come near that.
And they got like 100 people, and which is a bummer. Like I want all of them to do really good, and like
but that's
some of them are like really good causes. Like we played one last year as Music for Munchkins, and like that whole thing's great. It's for kids, like, and I'm like, how are all these people not come?
Yeah,
like, and I can't say anything. Like, that was my first year going, so like I feel like a dick about it. But like every time he has it, I always had like a show or I was out of town or whatever. So like. I didn't get to go either, but like now I'm like, man, I'm gonna go to him and support. And so we did that, and it was it went great, and we're all basically like, oh Jesus, like our brains are gonna explode. So Brad's like, let's take some time off of it, and I didn't know if I was gonna do it again or not. I wanted to, and then it was coming this year, and I wanted to start working on it. I actually wanted to start working on it before, but I was like, I should wait and see if Brad maybe changes his mind. Well, he did. Brad wanted to do it again, and then he's got a new job and stuff, and like it just basically takes up those time. So basically he had to like remove himself, which sucked because like I like doing it with Brad. It was fun, but like it happens for a reason. He's got like responsibilities.
Sure,
and stuff, So and he still helps out. Like he still helps out. Like he'll ask me stuff and like be like, hey, what do you you need this or like how's it going and stuff. And Wade also has like a new career. So he's busy as well, but he's also offered to help when he can and stuff. So which is cool. They're still like on board helping, which is awesome. But for like, I'd say like 85% of it I'd say like 90% of it, like I am just sleeping on my laptop, like in a house, like waking up, like, oh, I gotta finish this thing.
So the next one, you have one scheduled for this year?
Yeah.
It's gonna be in Island Park in Blossburg?
July 27th.
July 27th.
At the park. Noon to 10 is when it's gonna be. I'm trying to get some national bands to play. I have a couple already like in the works, and I already have one booked through CI Records, which I won't release who they are. But so yeah, I'm in the works of one that people keep bugging me about, so I'm hoping to.
You can't like give us any like.
No, unfortunately, no, I can't. I wish I could, but like, you know, like I can't. I mean, I could give like who like the regional bands are, like, because they're not really contracted, but where's the fun in giving it all away?
Right, all right.
But no, I would love to. I was thinking about it when I was walking in here. I'm like, oh, I don't want to tell them, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I shouldn't, just because it doesn't happen, then I'm like full of crap.
Yeah, that would suck. So, yeah, all right. Fair enough.
Unfortunately, there's a lot more. There is way more things into this than I guess I could ever think about. Like, I knew there's gonna be like contracts, and you know, like, you gotta like the first. I didn't even know what an offer sheet was until like I asked one the other day, and I was like, "What's that?" You know?
Right. Yeah.
So I had to look it up.
You gotta Google it and figure out how to make money.
So I'm like looking at it, I'm like, holy crap, like this is the whole thing. So then I'm like, okay, so what do I have to do after that? So I looked it up, I'm like, holy crap. So there's like tiers of this, and I'm like, oh my god. So I'm like studying it and figuring it out, and then like, you know, I'm asking people that I don't know work in the industry, like, yeah, I'll help you out with like making sure it all works out and stuff. So, you know, I'm just sitting there like covering my butt on all aspects, just because, you know, now it can legally come back to me, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything's going through me money-wise.
I tell you, man, like some of the greatest shit that like happens is done exactly the way that you're doing it. You know what I mean? You have your mind set on the goal. I'm gonna make this happen, and like you just fucking. It's like jumping off a cliff and building a parachute on the way down, kind of thing.
Yeah, hoping like you're like
yeah.
you're getting closer, like, oh, come on, right. How many times I've had that? I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What's his the guy that does the Family Feud?
Yeah.
Steve. Oh God, bald guy. That's the black mustache. He does the Family Feud thing.
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey. Yeah. He always says. I remember he has like the best analogy. He was like, you know, you can stand at the edge of the cliff all day. He's like, if you never jump off of it, you're never gonna figure out if you can do it or not. He's like, and you're gonna smash off all the rocks on the way down. And I was sitting there, I'm like, yeah, it still hurts the whole time. I haven't caught my foot. Yeah, I'm still falling down the hill or the cliff. So like, I totally agree with that, 100%. Yeah. But, you know, how are you going to do it if you don't try? Like, you know what? If you fail at it, oh well, I'm just going to do it again. You know, whatever.
That's how I always looked at business. Like, people would always be like, because I've talked to people.
You're going to fail. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I've tried to coach people on numerous occasions. Like, they're like, I have this idea, something that I want to pursue, that I want to do. But like, I just have this overwhelming feeling that I'm going to fail. And I'm like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen as a result of you failing? You have to get a regular job. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, that's why I've never been afraid to take a risk and jumping into a business. You know
what if it goes well? Then you are the job.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I would like to do this like twice a year, and you know, because I plan on changing up. Spoiler alert! I end up changing up the style every year because I think everyone thinks I'm doing like a metal festival.
Yeah, you told me some of that.
Yeah.
About doing like a country thing maybe one year.
Well, I know there's gonna be a lot of disappointed people about that. Like, but everyone else, you're welcome. Like, I'm gonna do like different styles every year and change it up. And just so many people are gonna say like, oh, what country? Who's gonna come to that? I'm like, a lot of people.
Everybody entire.
Like everyone's going to.
Yeah.
Like, and like my thing is like that's cool. I mean, whatever. And like I listen to everything because I was always told diversity is the key. So like,
for sure.
And I'm not saying I haven't hated on music styles in my time, but like, you know, I've been like, oh, all right. Instead of being like, oh, I don't like this, we're like, what do I like about it? Try to go from there. Because like, you know,
there's inspiration from everything.
Yeah, exactly. And my thing is like, I don't want it to fail at all. Like, I mean, I don't know. It could. I have no idea. I could, you know, take all this money out that I'm about to do and, you know, pay for all this stuff, and then it all goes well, and then I'm like stuck with a cool car payment.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I have no idea, but you know, maybe not. Maybe the faith in everyone, please come. We'll be like, yeah, let's all go to this thing. Even if you didn't like it, you'd be like, just go to support. That would just be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
thanks
coming,
for having me.
I really appreciate it, and I look forward to going to this event. It's gonna be dope.
Dude, come in at there. Their freaking restaurant's good.
Revolution Coffee Company.
Do it now.
All right. Cool.